Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Here basically we are discussing on the topic that is Siri Krish. One of the person told that. Do you know basically one more third party is also basically there in this? One of the person told that third party is also basically there. That is, do you know basically what is that? Incidence basically. One of the person told that is incidence basically. One of the person told that is an incidence basically. This is basically the third part. This is basically the third part. Let's see basically the third part. That is news channels. Reason news channels? Because public basically connected with the news channel. And one of the person told that, for example, the Bollywood basically groups are basically very dangerous basically, I am telling you. They basically has created the world like this basically. I will take one example. For example, there is one channel basically called Aaj Tak, or basically any news channel basically will take. Few people says that basically, few group basically gets Aaj Tak different news basically. Few group basically gets Aaj Tak as a different news basically. So there are many Aaj Tak live channel also basically created by the Bollywood industry basically. So why they have created that basically? One of the person asked the question basically, why they have created first that basically. So one of the person told that might be reason the control of the city basically. Like this basically Bollywood says that group says that basically we are basically controlling the group. For example, one person died basically. They basically sent the news basically. For example, one person, I assume that basically I am in Bangalore basically. So one of the person told that, अरे भाई ये मर गया. This Bollywood person basically died. Then basically assume that basically that is me only basically. Then basically I went to Mumbai basically. Then basically one of the person told that basically, अरे भाई ये तो मरा नहीं है. That was basically the news channel basically. That was the news channel basically. So one of the person told that like this also basically news channel basically are created. One of the person told that why basically that is created. That is once the information is leaked in front of the public basically, you can't do anything basically. It's leaked, that means it's leaked. So one of the person told that Sunil basically you basically, for example, you have one or two girlfriends basically, that somebody basically leaked your information that basically यार ये तो लड़की बाज है, he basically have girlfriends basically. Why? Because it is leaked basically. Then one of the person told that like this basically lots of big people basically have many girlfriends basically, like Amitabh Bachchan basically, Salman Khan group basically, then many chief minister basically, prime ministers basically, and presidents basically, like this basically they have been many affairs basically. Many affairs basically are there basically, and they have basically many girlfriends basically, but they basically never gets that information basically never gets leaked. They basically do whatever basically. They fuck girls, whatever they basically do, but they basically that basically never gets leaked. Why? Because their news channel basically are there basically. They basically never gets leaked this information basically. So that is one thing basically. So that is also basically connecting with the news channel basically. So one of the person told that news channel basically has become nowadays a business basically. So that business basically we are taking here as a third part basically. Why basically? That also we will discuss basically. Why basically it's that. News channel is there. Then basically incidents creations groups. Incidents created group basically, that also you can say created and creation basically both are same. Laden, that is bin Laden basically. Bin Laden. That incident was there basically. In really basically the plane was going to crash in Himalaya and Mount Everest, but that crashed in USA basically. Why? Somebody basically might have tracked that basically, and he in front of public basically they want to display this, so they basically done this basically. That basically news channel. That incident basically happened, but that basically was not given this information to the news channel basically. This information basically was not given to the news channel by this group and this group basically. This group has basically, and this group also, because nowadays the digital world is there basically, so this group basically has not given the information to news channel basically. So what happened basically, what happened here basically, the news channel group basically thought that basically their information their basically categories are also basically into trouble basically. So what they have done basically, they basically they have basically they basically has they basically they basically know that basically that this group basically can do anything basically to them basically one day basically. So what they have done basically, see basically the information basically, see basically how each and every groups are securing themselves basically. So this group basically what they have done, news channel group, they have created hundreds of story basically. So whenever this group and this group basically and this group basically, this group also basically came, basically this group also came basically in between this groups and this group basically. This group also basically came in between basically. So this group basically told that basically if these three groups are basically not giving information to us basically, that is the news channel, then we are going to create one whatever things basically has happened to, for example the plane basically was crashed basically, right basically. So that information basically was not given to the news channel. Why? Because this group also basically might not be knowing basically. This group and this group and this group basically might be possible basically. This group also basically might not be knowing. So they basically don't, what they have done basically, they have created one story basically, activated one story basically in internet basically, that is Bin Laden story basically. Like this basically, like this many stories basically are there in this world basically. In this world basically many stories are basically there in this world. So that basically connects to the news industry basically, and that is the digital news also, because nowadays it's a digital world basically. It's a digital world basically, that's why. So one and two incidents basically, that is clear basically. Then basically one of the percentage, yes basically. So see the basically things basically are connected. These groups, these groups, these groups, these groups. Indian Army and one more group basically, this group basically, that is Brahma Kumari official website basically, and this group basically. These groups are also basically connected with this group basically. These groups are also basically connected basically. See basically these groups. So see basically Brahma Kumari's group basically. What this website? So these groups, these groups, these groups, all basically are connected here basically. So in next video basically we are going to